Welcome back to the Tide Here Hank. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about highlights from San Diego Comic-Con, the Sdcc. Now I'm going to talk about everything that are highlights that are catching my eye, and today I'm going to cover kind of everything that's not Star Wars and Transformers, and then save Star Wars and Transformers for tomorrow. But there's so much stuff going on. It is absolutely amazing what is being shown, and it feels like it's kind of New York Toy Fair and San Diego Comic-Con wrapped in one. It's just so much going on. It's so big and so impressive. So we're going to get into covering this stuff. We're going to talk about this, all this and more coming up. Alright, so I'm going to try to group this by franchise as much as I can, but there's just so many pictures and information coming from so many different sources. Most of this came from Toy Arc, like 90% of it. So I will link Toy Arc down below so you can go check out more pictures, because I'm not going to show every picture, just the highlights here. But first of all, Blitzway, $700 Voltron, is making the Netflix version, which is not the traditional version. This is the one that looks different. It's the new, more modern one that was modern as in like 2017. I don't even remember what year it came out. But anyhow, this is how it looks combined. I don't know the price, don't know any information. I don't hear anyone talking about this. I just saw a few pictures and thought, wow, can't believe they're doing it. Now, here's my thought process, though. I don't think that this will sell as well as their original one, especially not at $700. Maybe they can bring this price down to like $500 or $400 or $300. I don't know, but they'll probably try to get $700 out of it, and I don't think there's a big enough market for it. It's still cool, and for the right price, I would definitely pick it up and be interested in checking that out. Now, getting into some more stuff, I am going to be hopping around a bit. Got some NECA monsters, and so it's not something I'm super into. I have a few. I got Frankenstein. I got a few of them, but I might actually bite on a couple of these because they are kind of cool. And then here we go with a few more of them. So they do a really good job. I think every figure NECA makes is great. The monster line is very popular, and they're doing a really good job with them. So I might be picking a couple of those up, but I'm not going after them all. Can't collect everything, right? And then here is... So this is RoboCop, and so I like the fact they're going to go deeper on it. I wonder if they're going to go even deeper. I mean, Alex Murphy's obviously still a main character. It's still RoboCop, but are they going to give us any more of the side characters like Ann Lewis or any of the stuff that Super 7 did in their reaction line? But I'd be down for pretty much anything RoboCop that they make, as long as they're going a little bit deeper. I just don't want to see RoboCop get made over and over and over. Technically, this is RoboCop getting made again. Now, we'll be jumping around, and I think the reason for that is because different things are set up at different places and different times and all that. But so this is the Super 7 reaction line for GI Joe, and as you can see right here, there's trouble bubbles that are going to fit vintage figures, but they're going to be a different design, and they're going to be more cartoon accurate than the toys that we got before. Probably way sturdier, just like a big chunk of plastic is the way it looks. And of course, they got a few other things in there, a whole bunch of figures, and then of course, that big, giant Cobra head jet plane. Really, so much cool stuff going on right there. I actually forget what that Cobra head's called. That is so awesome that they're going to make that. And it's one of those things, they said they're not making vehicles for the Ultimates line for any GI Joe, but they did not rule out reaction. So it's kind of like they threw that curveball. They threw out there no vehicles. These are coming to subvert expectations. Speaking of GI Joe, they just revealed these 4 characters, and they've already got the prototypes going right here, so they look good. They look really good. I'm very pleased with every figure they've made, even though I think Wave 2, the faces weren't painted or something along those lines, but I have most of those, and I'm very pleased with them anyway, in spite of the faces not being painted. So here we go with more prototypes. Maybe these are test shots. We're getting much closer on this wave here, and all I've got to say is the more I see of this, the more excited I get. These figures all look great. I wish they were a little cheaper, but they get the job done. They look really good, and so for that, I'm very impressed, very pleased. He boxed up my classifieds, put these in there. I know people don't like it when I say that. Let's get into a little bit of Masterverse here. Well, Masters of the Universe. It's actually... so this is the Filmation style Origins figures, and if you look at the 2... He-Mans, the He-Men in the middle there, you're going to notice that you got the Origins one on the right, sort of, and then the one on the left is going to be the new Buck. So they're going to make all these new Filmation style ones on a new Buck, and it's going to what they said, it's going to reflect the animation more than what the Origins did. And so there's more information too. They're saying that they're going to continue out the toy line, the vintage toy line, and it's going to be on Mattel Creations. And a lot of people are saying, oh, they're going to just like redo all of the old vintage toy line stuff. No. They're technically going to end Origins the way it was of the toy characters, and they're going to end that by releasing the rest of them on Mattel Creations. And then we're going to go forward with this as the retail. So these will be in the stores. The Filmation stuff will be in the stores. And it does look so much better to me. And it does kind of resemble what Super 7 did in the past, but it is different because of the articulation and even more tune accurate. Here we go with a few more things that they got going on in the pipeline there. So I think it all looks good. Just so much going on right there. We've pretty much seen all this stuff. This is just getting to see it in real form, and for that, fun to see it. It's all coming. Most of this stuff's pre-ordered. I don't know about Cyclone there, but I don't know if I got a Cyclone on pre-order. The Rock dude, forgot his name, but all those look great, fun. Then there's this Trapjaw in the Masterverse line, so there's gonna be a whole lot of Masterverse stuff going on too. I think that this Trapjaw, I don't want to say that it was a bad idea to remake it, but they did a pretty good one. Now they come out with this one. I think this is better than the first one they put out. Still doesn't beat what Super 7 did to match the actual animation. But of course, that's not their goal with the Masterverse line at all. But I think it looks good, but then you're kind of getting duped because of the fact you already bought one and it was a deluxe figure. Here's more of the Masterverse figures that they have on show. Showing in the back, we do have another one of the live-action movie characters, and so that's pretty cool. Of course, we got Snoutspout. We got a new iteration of Triclops. Then we got Mechanic, and then a new iteration of Man-at-Arms. So I have to admit, I don't like buying these characters over and over and over and redoing them. They got new packaging, looks cool, but it's one of those things that, okay, we just went there, we just did that, now we're going back instead of going forward. But I guess I'm okay with it, especially since we're getting some new characters along the way. So we are getting a Gwildor. I almost bought a Classics one for $50 the other day, and I was like, no, I'll just hold off. I'll find a cheaper Classics one than that. Didn't realize that literally a week later, yeah, I suppose a week ago, so a week later, this pops up. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. So excellent Gwildor, looks good to me. And then we got Orko with some magic spell going on. Again, we already got an Orko, but this is more classic, but still not very classic. So the Classics one's still there. I think the Classic Orko is really tiny. I've got it. It's kind of small. Then we have this motherboard-induced, I don't know what you call motherboard-induced Skeletor. We'll know more about this in the show. I mean, if y'all bother watching the show. I know some people are boycotting it, but I think that I'll give it a shot. I give all these shows a shot, give it a chance, see how it goes. But interesting looking Skeletor. Probably won't make my list for my favorite Skeletor, but he does look crazy. All right, so let's jump out of the Masters universe and go into something completely different. So I had a lot of Marvel Legend live streams hop in my YouTube feed, and I was like, even clicked on one, and I was like, oh yeah, this is Marvel Legends, I'm not really interested, I'll back out of it. Now I'll just look at pictures, see if there's anything I like later on. And lo and behold, someone sends me a picture of Crystar being in a wave. So there's a whole slew of possibilities that are now being opened because of the fact that we have a Crystar getting made in there. Will they make all of the characters? Will they at least make a few different ones and just recolor it? Same bug, just recolor the lower legs, the waist, the hands, and then the body, torso, whether it be green or whatever. They could do all that. So hopefully this sells well enough that they do more Crystar figures. But I'm definitely in on getting a few of these because I'm really excited for it. So it also opens the door to Visionaries Mask, Centurions, other stuff down the road. And I always thought, why doesn't Marvel, because Marvel will do that. The Marvel Legends will do like a whole run of something that's a little bit outside the norm. But this has a Marvel comic. And if it has a Marvel comic, why don't they figure out the licensing and make it? So I think that's great, and it's going to suck me into Marvel a lot more. The Joe team did show off this 3-pack of the His Tank Driver 3-pack kind of thing they got going on. Fire Team 788. So it's okay. It's all right. It's just repaints of stuff they've already made. And it's different than I expected. I am probably going to pass on it wait for a sale, wait for a clearance. All the other 3-packs they made like this, especially closed box 3-packs, went to like $50. So I'm not going to be paying $90 for it for sure. I'm not that interested in it. Also, the Chuckles, they fixed the situation. So now the Chuckles figure, they have one-time use codes that they sell, and you can use your one-time use code instead of sending out a link that everybody can go to. So, you know, it's the right thing to do, but the rest of us are still left in the cold on Chuckles. Good thing it's not a character that's that important, so that's the way I feel about it. Wish I had better pictures of this. I mean, I really do, but Diamond Select putting out more of their Cobra Kai figures, Karate Kid Cobra Kai figures. They look good, but wish the other guy was standing up. Miyagi-Do. Anyhow, I might pick these up if I come across them. I'm not going out of my way, though. But I think they look okay. They look pretty good. Out of the blue, we got some Hiya Toys Judge Dredd figures, and I think they look alright. It was just on display. Some of them they're working on, some stuff that we've seen. And it's just something to point out. They are the 3.75, I believe. So, but I'm not sure who's making this leather face next to him. Is that Hiya making them too? Yeah, I think so. Hiya Toys is also making Star Trek, which so they're going full on for the J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek, and these figures all look good. And they do not look 3.75 inch, but they are. So, but they're $20 figures, right? And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So that's almost $200 right there. Like after tax, you're pretty much sitting at $200. So that's a lot of money for those, but they look phenomenal. So I guess it's worth it if you're really into the Star Trek, and they look so realistic. It works. Then we got some Jada Toys and their Street Fighter. And so this is one of those things. If you're not in on the $90 to $120 on the Storm Collectibles, then these for $25, 20 or 25, I can't remember. Those figures are right up my alley for price-wise. So I can drop 20 or 25, and I really am only going to be after probably about a dozen of them. Not every one they make. So I've skipped one already, but we got Dalzim, and then my favorite is Guile, and then just going all the way down there. Is that Balrog? I think it's Balrog. And then we've already seen pretty much the rest of these, but I do like the Bison, M. Bison. And so, really excited for these figures when they come out. There's a lot of Turtle stuff going on, and Best AXN, they're just diving deeper, I guess. They're going into some movie stuff. I can't even tell you really what's going on here, to tell you the truth. But these are smaller, they're not the 7-inch line, and they're not much cheaper than what NECA's doing. So they're smaller and not quite as good, but they don't look horrible, actually, to tell you the truth. Looking back here at this, there shows a few things going on here. We'll see some more NECA Turtles here in a little bit. We've seen most of this already, but there's their Krang, which I don't know. Is that Krang even available? I've never seen it at a store before, and I don't see it on BBTS or anything. Maybe I should go double check, but I don't know if I even need this Krang since I've got the NECA one, but it's a pretty big one, so I did a pretty good job size-wise with it. Nacelle showcasing a few things. So I do want to say that they have a few things there, but there was a few things that were absent, or something very important that's absent, but we'll get into all that. So, Biker Mice from Mars, and here we go with Vinny and Moto and Throttle, and they look pretty good. They added additional articulation to them that they weren't originally going to put in there, and they're making the bikes, and so there's no price on the bikes just yet. The figures are like $40 a piece. And so I think if I get these, I'm playing the waiting game, and I'm going to get them on sale. But they are kind of cool looking, and if you have the Biker Mice, they're much larger. They're more in the 6-inch scale than the 5-inch scale, 4.5-inch scale that they were. And then here's a close-up on, so looks pretty cool. There's our Sectars, and I think they look great with the paint on them. I'm just really excited about Stellara. Yeah, I wish she had her bug, but I'm going to get her in my display once I get her. We just need her. We need the ones that weren't made. And so with that, I do understand people like, okay, I want to get a new, more articulated version of Dargon and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, Dargon, just the standard one's fine, and I would have just been happy with getting a Stellara. But when will these come out? They should be out by now. Oh, and no Power Lords. No Revell Power Lords that I saw. Maybe I just missed it, but no Power Lords. So we got NECA Gargoyles, and we've got the dinosaurs, and we've seen the dinosaurs. I mean, this isn't really anything new, but there are some more of the Gargoyles, and the human characters, from what I'm hearing, people just do not care about the human characters at all, and that they're throwing in the folded wings. It's the only way that's going to move the human characters. So I'm interested in them. I think, hey, why not? You know, why not flesh the whole thing out, make the whole toy line? I don't know a whole lot about it. This is one of the few lines I collect just because I think the figures have value. They're big, they look great, and they take a lot of space for the price of pretty much a standard other figure. So they all look good. Pretty excited. Some of these I don't have yet, so I look forward to trying to get my hands on them. All right, so we're going to get into some TMNT stuff. I don't know if it's really going to flow very well. It's just picture to picture, but this is this Last Ronin. Cool side shoot comic, I guess. I didn't have anything to do with that, so I really don't know much about it. So here's the Eastman Laird stuff that's going on, so that looks pretty cool. I saw that Turtle 4-pack at my Target. I didn't pick it up because I'm not going too deep into Turtles anymore. I'm kind of backing off Turtles. If it's cartoon, I'm going to stick with it. I'm pretty excited about that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to go much deeper with it. And I think that's the problem they're going to run into. Not that many people are going to go deep enough to produce a lot of these, which means that they're going to probably produce less of some of these obscure ones, and those will be the ones harder to get down the road if you decide to change your mind. Love their backgrounds. Look at all those tires and all that kind of stuff. So more of the movie stuff. So this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and all these characters look fantastic. They just look great. Even though I really don't have much tie to the live-action movie stuff. I just got the Turtles because I thought they were okay, and that's about it. I think this is pretty cool. Here we go with more of... So this is the Monsters Turtles. The Turtles X Monsters, and so that's what that looks like. And we've been seeing a lot of this stuff as we went, but it's nice to have it on display. Then you get this, and there's more pictures coming too, but this is oversized Krang, and it starts to make you wonder how much are they going to charge for this thing. So it's got the robot, oversized, blown up Krang, mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And then there's like a recolor of the Rex robot down there. But getting into this, and they redesigned and made this turtle van look really good. Now it's smaller than the one that we already got, that third-party one. And so with that, I think it looks like it might be a little bit better quality and a little bit more paint to it. But they're really gonna have to do some serious work to beat that third-party one. The Underground Arsenal was pretty solid. But this is a pretty cool looking van. I've got mine pre-ordered and paid for already. I don't think you can order it anymore. Once the pre-order is closed, that's it. I love these backgrounds. The sewer layer looks amazing. It looks fantastic. And then we've got Casey Jones in a suit. And then, so it's a nice mix of stuff that's already out and stuff that they're putting out. And look at the couch. That's really cool. Then we get into some Simpsons stuff. I usually don't talk much about Simpsons, but a buddy of mine really likes it, so I just talk about it. And here's more Simpsons stuff. And so here's what I want to point out. The Simpsons, they go super deep, and it sells well enough for them to keep making them. But they're canceling Disney lines. Like, a lot of the Disney characters, Disney lines, are getting canceled. And some of the Star Trek got canceled. But this, I haven't heard of any of this getting canceled. Oh, and we've got some Power Ranger stuff getting canceled because there's not enough interest. But there's enough interest in Simpsons, which actually surprises me. More Simpsons stuff here too. So I'm not sure how many people are into the Simpsons, but enough that they keep making it. And now getting into what I think is the absolute most important part of Super 7. Second most important. I will be honest, this is the second most important part of Super 7. And that's the vac metalized SilverHawks. Okay, now I do have the Stillheart. I got her as quick as I could. Got a review up about her. I have not shipped from BBTS my Quicksilver. I'm almost thinking about not shipping it, but I'm going to go ahead and get it anyway. But I've got to get these vac metalized ones. I will probably keep them in the package so the vac metal stays good, but they look so amazing. I am very pleased that we're getting them vac metalized. All the talk and huffy and puffy that we're not going to do. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to look at this. Number one, that we got juiced by getting the Primer Hawks first, and now we get SilverHawks. And so now we're going to pay out the nose for these, probably 65 each is what I'm guessing. Another $10 for the vac metal, which I'm not going to say I'm okay with it. I feel like the $30 figures. I think 45 for the vac metal would be adequately priced, but if you want it, you got to pay up for it. So Still Heart right here just looks fantastic, and I think that the paint on this looks better than the original one, which is another sucker punch to the gut, but man, she looks good. And the emblem on the chest also stands out really well. You can also see where the vac metal is rubbing off on the insertion joints on the arms where it goes in, and that was just something that, hey, the hands, the wrists, all that stuff, they've been popping arms in and out and doing it for about 2 months is what he said. And so that's the wear and tear. So you can see wear and tear from them messing with it for 2 months. And then there's the Quicksilver. That's not the greatest picture in the world, but that's the picture. He actually, they had him like sticky tacked down so that when people bump it, he doesn't fall. And he's been bumped and he's falling, but the sticky tack still holds him up slightly. Then we get into this guy. Let's get a better picture of him. I like this picture. So this is the toy version. So the vac metalized SilverHawks are called the toy version, and the toy version is the toy recolors of these, which I called the toy recolors of these a long time ago, just because the green is what we're so used to seeing. And so I'm definitely getting both versions of this. So as for Monstar, he doesn't look a whole lot different. He looks more matte finished. I would think they'd have given him more of a sheen, of a shiny sheen to him to make him a toy version, but what do I know? Now for the next wave, is this the next wave? One of the next waves of Thundercats, and we've got Mongor, and we got Ritaro, and they look good. These are further along, so very exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for all the Super 7 stuff. I know they're not perfect. I know there's issues. I know they're extremely expensive, but very, very happy with the lines so far, even with the problems. Here we go with Willa and Snarf, and here's the funny thing: people complain about Snarf. I've seen them sold out on a couple of sites now, so it's not sold out on BBTS. I don't think. Maybe it is, but as expensive as he is for a little figure, he sells out because he's that important to people. So he's not really that important to me, but I pre-order him anyway. Then we have the clear Jaga, which is the way you see him through most of the cartoons, so except for the first episode or so. So this is definitely an important figure, but it was a pre-order only kind of thing. I'm going to be really upset if when mine come in stock, you could have just pre-ordered, you just get them from BBTS or something. So I hope they don't go that route. I just paid out the nose for 2 of the clear Chicharas, or the glow-in-the-dark Chicharas. So here are the figures that they've recently announced, the wave that's coming up. I did a video about that, and here they are in their prototype form. So what's a little bit confusing, and it's a little confusing because these figures have already been made, but now they're in the prototype form, because I think they're making some slight modifications to them, I guess. And of course you have to have the accessories that are different and changed, and then the way things are, the Jaga and his helmet and those kinds of things. So might be a good way to get a Jaga helmet. We'll see how that fits on the vintage figure, but yeah, that's I'm excited for all these, and it's good to see them coming along. It's fun to see them in real form. And then here's an earlier wave. So this wave should be coming sooner, I think, the one on the right here. And so I've got the Lunatic, we've got the Shiner, we've got the Hachiman, and we've got the Wily Kitten Cat. So excited for all this. So now for the actual Cat's Lair. Now I made a video with, it was still sort of renders, and I was like, well, is this going to have a shiny paint, a sheen to the plastic? It looks like it's vac metalized painted on the head and the claws and a couple of the other areas. Vac metalized paint, or at least just a metallic paint, not vac metalized, just metallic paint. Sorry, but it looks amazing. This thing looks better than the renders, better than I thought. Look at the detail paint on the rock wall. I mean, the rock wall that we didn't even know was going to be a rock wall until they leaked it to us. Man, that looks amazing. And yes, the rock walls should be taller, but they're not. It's still, you have to live in the confines of reality. But this thing is huge. It's massive. It looks impressive. It looks amazing. Looking at it from more of a straight-on angle, and so the doors are huge, and the stairs go way out. Everything on this just sort of makes sense. It feels right, even though the LJN one, the stairs are just too short for people to stand on. You can't stand your figures on. You could stand figures on these stairs and display them that way. There's a whole lot of great things to do there. And then here is Linkso, and of course the joke is the blind guy is always operating the gun, and that's funny. So that's how they set it up. The blind guy is operating the gun. I guess he does it using the Force, so really awesome right there. And this is something I noticed, but I wasn't sure it'd be big enough, and then other people started pointing it out. But the ledge on this is big enough for a figure to stand on, and that's awesome. It's also big enough to make it look like he's climbing over it or something. So really so well thought out. So many great things that are on this playset. They've outdone themselves. It's fantastic. This thing is just amazing. I'm very impressed. And $650, $100 shipping. I'm definitely interested in getting one. Don't know if I can afford two though, because this it's getting expensive. So next, I'm going to throw this out, and I probably should have talked about this when I was talking about the other Voltron stuff, but this one is a whole different company. So I guess it's good that I don't mix things up. This is the 3.0 shorter one, not the Blitzway, but the 3.0, but it's metallic paint. So we got one that didn't have metallic paint already. Now this one has metallic paint. That's another kind of, I don't know how I feel about that, because I would rather have the metallic paint. And now it's like, now I got to rebuy a $300 figure if I want this. And that's frustrating, because there was no inclination of knowing that it was coming or not. So I would have liked to have been informed, hey, you got this or the metallic, or give us the metallic first. I don't know. Anyway, I'll probably still get it. I probably will get it because it's really awesome. Now we get into some Robotech stuff that was going on over there. It's Toynami. And so if you look up top there, okay, so this whole picture is a good picture. Up top they have the one, it's not even 1/18th scale. I forgot what they called it. Like 1/28th scales, I think what they called it. But it's small. So it's, they're a little bit bigger than mask figures is what I think. But they have the Scott Bernard, and they've got the cycle, the Cyclone cycle, and all that kind of stuff. And then you look down below, and they got the big cycle that's coming with the Scott Bernard. So I'm interested in that. I think that's pretty cool. We'll see price on it. It might disinterest me though. Here's the big one. It always the Cyclone Ride Armor by Toynami. To price is still to be decided. So come on, keep it under $100. I doubt it, but it'd be awesome. Well, I guess I quickly need to talk about the funding campaign for this cast layer real quick. And it's $650 plus 100 shipping, and if you order two at the same time, it's still going to be 200 shipping. So you can't save on shipping with this, but it's going to be 3,000 units to basically fund it, which I'm sure they're going to get no problem. They're almost at 1,000 right now. Then the first tier unlocks at 4,000 to get this lab set, and then the tier 2 unlock is a translucent Lion-O. So pretty cool unlocks. If we don't get them, we can all live without them, but I'm pretty sure it's going to hit 5,000. They made almost 9,000 of the Thunder tanks, so I'm pretty sure they'll make 5,000 of this pretty easy. And they do have some overseas partners that are going to come in on this, so it's an amazing set. Sure, it's going to get there. But anyway, what do you guys think about these highlights of Sdcc? I'm going to come back tomorrow on Sunday with Star Wars, Transformers, and then whatever I missed from this. There's just so much going on. There's going to be more reveals Saturday all day, and so I'll have to compile all that. But really exciting time. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Hang around.